What's up, y'all? You already know what it is. You are rocking with the best radio show in the galaxy, From Venus with Love. I am your host, Venus, and today we have a special guest per usual. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, it's me, Kay, also known as Playgirlkay or Pierre Bourne's wife, whichever one you found me on. It's me. I'm Kay. I am so excited.
Oh, thank you. I can tell from our conversation earlier. Yeah. It's going to be a good episode. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good.
Cause I feel like that champagne just hit me a little bit.
Just a little bit. I feel
it's cute. It's real cute.
It's time for great conversation.
Right. So I see we got the little animal print going on.
You know, we got the tiger, zebra, tiger. Yeah.
So, how was your day? How have you been doing?
It's been really good. KK went to work. I did. Yeah, but we got to go get that money.
Have to.
Okay. But, I mean, you either going to be broke or...
Broke.
Okay. Hello, but...
So, I wanted to start off today's episode with an icebreaker. And
okay.
I kind of just thought of this on the way here. So, what are 5 signs of wealth or status in 2025? It could be serious, it could be unserious, just anything that people look at and be like, oh, he got money or she got money.
Listen, okay, I ain't gonna lie. Look, this is unserious and serious mixed together. So we gonna start with hair.
Okay, get into it. Let's get into it.
And me, a girly, I love a good synthetic. Don't ever, don't ever think I'm talking down. But when that shit look real raw and like, real raw bundles, when I see like 6 of them in that head.
In the year 2025?
You spend about a band on that head. More than that. Okay, next. You're frequently driving a luxury car. As in, like, every time I see you, every time I catch you, you in that car. As in, that's your shit. As in, you're paying or that shit is paid off. You got a little bit of money. Next. If you live in Buckhead.
Oh, yeah. Period.
Specifically near Lenox. Or Phipps Plaza. Like... If you live over there, you got money. I don't care what nobody says. That was 3. 2 more. If I catch you always in designer, I think you got a little bit of something.
A little bit.
Even if it's a little purse, even if it's a little earring, I know you got a little something to spend it on something. So.
You know what's funny? We was just talking about this in our last episode. Some of that should be from the fence. Some of that shit be from the fence.
I ain't gonna lie. Them niggas be hustling.
They got that shit on,
they got it. They do. And whatever you doing, get what you gotta get. And my last one, if you always at the most 5-star Michelin type ass restaurant, every weekend, like you go out to eat before going to the club and your shit is Nobu for the night.
It's a nice little pregame.
I know you got money. Okay. So, yeah, that's how I feel.
So, here are my 5 signs of wealth in 2025. First of all, it's a Stanley Cup. I don't know when that became the status symbol, but everybody want a motherfucking Stanley Cup. I don't know what it is. I
know you got money.
It was just
for
for white people.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was like, I'm a soccer mom.
Yeah. I didn't know when that crossed over to us. Now the 13-year-olds and the kids is one of them.
I gotta stand there.
I seen this one TikTok where these kids was making fun of this girl for not having a Stanley Cup.
Oh my God, that's so sick. And you want to know something? You know how many dupes there are in Walmart?
Bro, bullying right now must be next level.
We thought it was bad.
Can you imagine?
We thought bullying was bad. We thought it was bad.
You think they wearing waist trainers in high school?
Bro, the BBL culture is really fucking up our young girls. We need to talk about that ASAP.
That was going to be the next sign of wealth or status, having a BBL.
You got money.
I tell people it's like...
that ass fat?
That's like the Victorian era. This is like the corset of this generation. If you got a BBL, bitch, you is
got
upper
money.
Echelon. I don't know. If you have a BBL and you working a job, I don't know what you're doing wrong, but you
unless
got BBL.
They got payment plans now.
Oh, okay.
But do what you got to do.
Maybe you working that job temporarily, trying to get to the next level. Okay, wait, that reminds me of another thing. Them teeth. Them veneers. Now, sometimes the veneers give, I don't have money.
You will know.
But sometimes them hoes be like, all right. All right.
Yeah.
Even when they look too white, I'm like, okay, at least they not like the
you know, like
the big teeth.
White. Like
and another thing, this is a recent thing too, Lululemon, which I don't really understand because like that fabric thin.
I ain't gonna lie, I bought my first pair, $110, child.
For the set?
Yeah.
How you feel about it?
Never bought it again.
That fabric thin, bro. Like
I bent down. I said, what am I buying? What was the money for?
That fabric thin.
They got me twice and that was it.
Yeah,
and the only thing I really like, and even that, you can get that shit off TikTok Shop. The jackets.
Because it's the same vendor.
It's the same vendor. It's just no logo.
China getting the work.
It's just no logo.
They just sending, different
it's just no
people.
logo.
And this last one that I thought about, low-key therapy. I feel like having a therapist,
a good therapist.
Like,
yeah.
Not them BetterHelp hoes.
No.
Respectfully.
Shout out y'all though.
Yeah.
Y'all do good.
Nah, because I heard on BetterHelp, they told this guy was like, or person, I don't know if it was a guy or girl or they or them. This person on BetterHelp complaining about like, oh, like I'm gay, I'm sad. And then the BetterHelp therapist going to be like, so why don't you just be straight?
I mean, it might have been a solution.
Like,
but
what?
If you're gay, be gay.
But not for real. Like, I think about, like, and it shouldn't be a sign of...
Okay, period. Thank you for booming in.
But anyways, it shouldn't be a sign of wealth. But I'm thinking about it. It's just like, damn, like, people really don't get therapy because they're like, I can't pay for it. Or it's like, if I don't have a job, like, I don't have benefits. Or I don't have a job with benefits. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out of my way.
Yeah.
But that reminds me... I've been seeing this. Have you heard about people talking to ChatGPT?
Yes.
How do you feel about it?
Now, AI period, I feel like it's with a lot of things that could be useful, but if you abuse it.
So how do you feel about people talking to ChatGPT like it's a
as
therapist?
A best friend?
Yes.
Or a therapist?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, you might be a little thorough. Respectfully,
like, I didn't know that was a thing, but I seen multiple people talk about it. I'm like, oh, so people are really, really doing this.
Yeah.
People is getting game from ChatGPT.
You know, people lack already support surrounding them as they were raised.
I seen this one thing where it was like a screenshot for Twitter, and it was like a guy was having conflict in his relationship. Like, he needed to tell his girl something. I don't know if it was like let's just say a guy needed to tell his girl she stank. She went to
the fact that you went, okay.
He went to ChatGPT to be like, how do I tell her? You just tell her.
I'm not, situations like this, when people go to social media or ChatGPT to these things to like get help.
Next thing you know, it's going to be like, my girlfriend did something I didn't like. What do I do?
What do I do? And it's like, who the fuck are we to tell you what the fuck you need to do?
And if anything, if you're going to get that type of advice, get it from a person.
Or break up.
That you know.
If you can't get it together, break up.
That's crazy.
Because what are we doing? Asking us.
No, that's crazy.
The last people I will ask is Twitter.
Or ChatGPT. I don't know. I feel like ChatGPT is learning us so it could What
is going through your mind right now? I think the minimum I use ChatGPT is...
I use ChatGPT to get a bag.
No, business.
Yeah.
When I use ChatGPT... you know what the fuck I mean. when I use the AI robot, they give me what the fuck I need for emails, text messages, PDFs, treatments that I'm making when I'm creative directing. So anything business.
But relationships, like interpersonal society.
You're crazy.
Recession indicator. ChatGPT as a therapist is a recession indicator. We need help.
We need actual fucking help. Oh, excuse me. I cannot.
Oh yeah. Oh. I think we're past 5 minutes. I don't know.
All right, cool.
Okay, yeah, we good. We good. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Wait, first of all, what is your sign?
I'm a Sag.
I don't know why I thought it was Leo, but it's in the fire realm.
I'm a fire. I'm a fire sign.
So tell me about Sag women.
So we have an unhealed side and a healed side.
Okay.
And the unhealed side, I'm not gonna talk about it. I feel like everybody knows.
I
feel like everybody knows.
I call it D4B.
And me, I've healed. I gone through shit. I did my shit, and I did what I needed to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm a great person. I'm optimistic.
Okay.
Enthusiastic. Mm-hmm. Adventurous. Ugly. But I don't know. I'm very happy. I love love. I'm a Taurus rising, so I think that keeps me a little
Okay.
balance.
You said.
A little.
Okay. So tell us more about yourself and how you got into modeling.
So I started, I'm not gonna lie, once I was a little girl, I was dancing and fucking singing and performing since I was 5 years old.
You had a girl group?
Girl, I'm not gonna lie, my mama had me in church.
Oh, period.
I was in a mega church all my life. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people be going to Word of Faith. I be seeing y'all, Bishop Brennan. But anyways, you might have to look that up. If you're not really into that, then you might not know.
Cause I used to go to Voices of Faith, but they
I heard about it.
They rebranded and ducked off in the east side. Like, it was already on the east side, but then they went super east side.
Word of Faith made it to Austell, but I started dancing in this mega ass church. We used to do like audiences like 1,000 plus.
Period.
And I don't know what the fuck my little ass was doing, but
you was doing
I was doing it. And after that, it became just mental, I guess. And then my mom had me like acting, modeling, dancing. Shout out to your mom. Shout out mommy. I ain't gonna lie. She saw my little sister getting obsessed with basketball. She's kind of getting a little like, okay, my daughter's playing basketball. All right. But she was like, all right, have her dancing. I'm gonna have her doing everything girly, in a sense.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I started modeling when I started, like, I was 15. My aunt was a photographer. And then I moved on, and here I am, being Kay.
Do you think your mom played a big part in, like, who you are today?
Yes.
Because it sounded like
Absolutely.
She was very supportive from, like, jump. And some parents, like, need that convincing.
It was. She was a little scared, but I'm one of those children of hers where I'm like, Mom, I'm finna do this. And she'd be like, are you sure? And I'd be like, yeah. She's like, okay. But she's like, okay, side-eye, because she ain't never did that shit before. I'll be the same way with my kids, too. They came to me with something brand new. This is not my pathway. This is not how I kind of told you how life is finna go. And you said, this is what you finna do, and this is how you want your career to be.
Yeah.
She was like, well, shit, if you can do it, I like to see. So she's always supported me, but she was always like, your mind is crazy. And I'm like, yeah. It's just me.
Y'all still have a good relationship today?
Yes, always.
Oh, that's good.
My mom is very, 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 very important in my life.
So, what would you say has been like your proudest moment in modeling, or like your biggest like gig, or the biggest thing you've done, whether it's modeling or like behind the scenes? Because I know you say you do treatments too.
Yeah, I do. I feel like two of my best like gigs is one of my brand deals. I was working with like a little clothing brand, Alfred Eden, and they sent me clothes twice for both of their little things. They fucked with me. I was like, okay. And I got me a little L'Oreal brand deal. I feel like the brand deals be making me feel like, okay, I'm doing what the fuck I gotta do.
How did L'Oreal come about for people who are trying to be in that space?
I'm not gonna lie, connect.
Yes.
When I say connect. Because I ended up finding that L'Oreal connection and emailing like one of their PR people through somebody that I met. And when you shake hands with somebody, even if it fucking works out next year, you shook your hand with that person for a reason. Make connections. It's always important. Please. Mm-hmm. But so I looked up with that one. So I think those were like my two biggest for sure.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We love a brand deal.
Yes, we do.
What would you say are three words that describe yourself?
Oh, God. Unpredictable. Positive.
That's good.
For sure. And hot.
Period.
Gotta have that one.
The unpredictability gets me into my first topic. Mm-hmm. Doing things for the plot. And to start off on this topic, what is the wildest thing that you've ever done for the plot? Of course, that you can talk about.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, the wildest thing I did for the plot personally for myself, I got through a phase where I was like, I need this and this and this in my life so I can look good, or so I can portray like this person that I was thinking in my head, but that was my ego.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What's your ego's name?
Let's say KK.
Okay.
KK, not just K. K, add another K to it, okay?
K squared.
No, K squared, you see what I'm saying? But when I usually surrounded myself with people who not so necessarily were ever aligned with me.
Yeah.
Or ever beneficial for my well-being, in a sense.
But it fit the brand.
It fit the brand.
Okay.
So it was like I surrounded myself with a lot of things that fed, in a sense, an ego. Because when you get too caught up with this image, and forget self, you start getting caught up with your ego.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you hang around certain energy, certain people, certain environments, you start to, one, crash yourself down, and also block out a lot of blessings, honestly. So I feel like one thing I did for the plot was have like the wrong people around at the wrong time, especially in moments where I could have took on a lot of opportunities. And when you surround yourself around certain shit, people like, what she got going on?
And you intentionally surround yourself around these people?
And I feel like I wouldn't even say intentionally. I feel like it was more of like a subconscious situation where it's like, okay, yes, you're so nice. Of course, it's like an innocent interaction, but it's like when you get deeper and it gets to outside of what we do outside, and it gets to inside,
who you
things are differently aligned. You understand how things could most definitely put an effect on your life, for sure.
So, have you ever regretted anything that you did for the plot, and why?
No. I would never regret anything I did.
And why?
And the only reason why I did, I had fun. The fuck? I've always had fun, but it's how you have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I always say, like, I live by this quote ever since I was younger. It's a smart way to do stupid shit. Yes. And there's like a way to do stupid shit that's just like straight up stupid.
It's just stupid. You know, it's like you and the same person could be doing the same thing, and it's how you do it. I think I talked to my little brother about that shit, like sneaking out and da-da-da. And I'm like, you're 17, about to be 18.
You're gonna sneak
out. I did the same shit too.
But it's like, what is you sneaking out to do?
What the fuck is you doing?
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was just talking about this the other day, like, when I was in high school, it was a wild time for like the surrounding Atlanta area. I mean, niggas was actively kicking down doors and
like
shit.
I'm not gonna lie,
suburban niggas. The suburbs.
I'm just telling you, like the suburbs boys in my neighborhood, because I wasn't in the hood.
I knew young women setting people up, and I'm just like, what are we doing? We come from decent
when
families.
I seen these girls jumping bitches and yeah, bitch. First of all, you won the spelling bee last year. Miss AP class, what the fuck is you doing?
Hello?
Oh my God, your mother drives the newest Mercedes Benz and you sitting up here talking about some bitch.
This is not baddies. What I picked up, and this is random too, I feel like, and maybe this is just my experience, I don't know if anybody else peeped this, I feel like the bitches with money be popping it the most. They can't get touched. I don't know what it is.
I don't give a fuck how much money you get.
I don't know what it is, but they be so wild.
One thing about me, KK had a pass. I ain't gonna lie. I had a little pass. And I feel like when bougie bitches start starting shit, I be like, okay now, I might look bougie, but I will hit you. Okay. I will. I'm not gonna lie. I was a retired crash out. I had to work on that really hard, but I don't like when people are just rude and snidey as fuck for no reason. Like, okay, the fuck, you got money.
Because my thing is like, bro, I feel like, and it shouldn't be like this. It's so easy to be mean, or for some people, and I feel like being nice is like just so underrated. Like,
it is. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people be surprised when I be smiling at them. I'll be like, hey, and they be like, damn, you smile at me? Damn,
I don't
nigga.
know, but
nobody smile.
Maybe because I'm like, I've never seen you and been like, she looked mean. Like, I don't know.
I would never. I'm not gonna lie. How I was raised, my mom, she told me don't ever. Even if she caught me talking shit, she would walk in my room and tell my ass, shut the fuck up. She's like, even if somebody was mean to your ass, you don't lower yourself to that point. I'm not gonna. I was raised like that, but she will tell me, a bitch might be jealous of your ass, but don't be jealous of her because she's jealous of you. Okay? Now y'all look stupid. Now you look stupid. So she was just always telling me, she was like, always know your words, but always don't feed into no bullshit. So I was never no mean girl. And even if a bitch was mean to me, either you want to fight or you better stop.
Yeah.
You want to fight or you better stop. But other than that, no, I've calmed down. I have.
So when do you think doing things for the plot turns into like crashing out? Like, when does it get too far?
I feel like when it get too far is like literally when your safety is jeopardized. Like, I feel like I've also been in friendships. That was younger though, like my younger days. I'm still young, but like when I was in my teens, I would hang around some people and not like thinking. at all. Not one bit, not thinking, just a little bit. I'll just be hanging out with whoever the fuck, and whoever got a car. Okay? And that will fuck your ass up and get you in a lot of fucking trouble. But again, I feel like that's when you feel like, okay, going a little too far.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what are some lessons, good or bad, that you can learn from doing things from the plot?
I feel like some things that I've learned is a lot by myself. As in, like, you can meet a lot of people as you're, like, doing things for the plot, quote unquote. And you can learn, like, a lot of shit about yourself, because as you're going through these experiences and stuff, you're attracting who you are.
Yeah.
So as you give in and you let go, you can be able to evaluate and understand what happened, what was going on, and what you can learn from it, and also from yourself and grow from it. So, shit.
So how would you balance that, like being spontaneous and being responsible?
I feel like you cannot push yourself into this spontaneous category without taking care of responsibility first. The fuck? If your shit ain't taken, I can't have fun if my shit ain't taken care of, okay? I will sit my ass down at home before I sit the fuck outside, but my shit is always taken care of because I like to be outside. How about that?
Period.
So I feel like responsibility is always first before spontaneous shit, or you won't have fun. So
I feel that. So you do tarot. How did you get into that?
I've always been very spiritual. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in the church, like, all my life. I was born in that damn church.
I feel like that goes hand in hand, low key, but people don't realize.
People don't pay attention to that. But I grew up in the church dead ass every Sunday. I think my first time finally spending New Year's not at church was at 18. And I finally got to go out and do what I wanted to do. But every Sunday I was at church from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Fuck, working, dancing, singing, and doing shit.
That's good, though.
Amen.
I feel like that's a good foundation. Not only just, like, spiritually, but, like, socially. Because in one of my episodes, I'm not saying you have to go on and be, like, some, like, huge singer, huge dancer, but, like, a lot of the talent that, like, we found was in that church.
Girl, I ain't gonna lie. Between all the talents, dancing, singing, even talking to crowds.
Yeah.
Thank God to church, okay? And I would never talk down on my church, the experience I went through, because everything is an experience and a journey, and it's helped me grow to who I am today. But
the tarot.
Tarot. But I started my spiritual journey starting with church. I remember my pastor and the first lady was both my godparents, and every time I family events, they told me to focus on my spiritual connection with God personally, not what religion is telling you. As in, leave that shit to the side. If you feel like you have something different feelings, follow your personal connection with God. And I did. And I started to get deeper into spirituality, learning about, like, ancestors and African spirituality. After I did my research for about 3 years, I got into tarot reading. Then before I started selling it, I think I got into tarot for about a year and a half. And then I started, like, posting about it. I was like, hey, y'all.
So what would you say for people who think, like, you can't be spiritual and religious, like, all that stuff is witchcraft, and, like, they have the negative things to say?
I feel like, one, it started off with history. If you even start off with history class, it started off with spirituality, one and foremost. What our ancestors were doing from the beginning before we got transported to America was spirituality, period. What our ancestors were doing was spirituality, messing with that witchcraft.
And they believed in God.
A lot of us
maybe not white God, maybe not.
I was like, but
God.
y'all believe in God, and it's nothing wrong with believing in a God, okay? But the flip side is going through the trashing on what witchcraft is and da. We all practice witchcraft in a sense. We all pray. We wish for things. We look at dandelions and blow on them.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all jump over the broom at the wedding.
Candles and blow
candles, y'all blow them. The sand that y'all pour in the cups at weddings, especially weddings. Oh my God. Y'all are spiritual as fuck. Ritual. And y'all sit up, even when y'all are drinking the blood of Jesus and eating, it's nothing wrong with that. But don't bash what other people are doing with their culture and spirituality and etc. Because, well, God said this. Well, no, the white man said that, not God. Let's start there. And that's a different conversation. But I will say me being in church every Sunday has helped me be so educated and wise and knowledgeable on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, without my pastor, shit, I wouldn't be where I am.
That's
and again,
that's a good point.
yeah, I was like, I always believe in God, and I'm very spiritual, so.
So are you the friend that people, with you being spiritual and you doing the tarot and you knowing astrology the way you do, are you the friend that people lean on for advice?
Yes. And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I signed up for it.
Okay.
Low key.
So I wanted to talk about suggestions, unsolicited advice, and really like being that person that reaches out to people when they don't want it but need it. So, you know, you heard a lot of things about like being a girl's girl, and I don't know if you've seen the TikTok video, but this one girl was like, if you're a girl's girl, a lot of girls won't like you because you're gonna like tell them the things they need to hear that they don't necessarily want to hear. And so how do you feel about, do you think there is a difference between suggesting something and giving unsolicited advice? And when do you think it's necessary to do the two?
I always sometimes give both depending on the relationship with people, but I always ask the person what do they want from me when they talk to me.
Good point.
I let my friends vent, I let it out, and I'll be like, okay, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear, or do you just want to let it out and you sit in silence or talk about something else? I always ask my friends what they want to hear first, but usually my friends tell me what they want before they start venting in the first place. But honestly, I do give both. I do, even with random people, if they are talking about something, I'll be like, well, do you want advice?
Yeah,
and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to give it to you. But it's depending on what the person's saying for real.
So what does holding your friends accountable look like to you?
Honestly, just being straight up, straightforward. Honestly, yes, let your friends have fun. This is your friend.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but I will always hold them accountable, just like how I want them to hold me accountable in a sense. So if I know they not supposed to be fucking with that nigga,
are you gonna do it in person or behind closed doors?
yeah, don't involve me in the bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel like. Don't involve me in the bullshit, and then you got me pissed off at this nigga, and then you end up at his house again. Now I'm pissed off at you and him. How about that? So it's just one of those situations where it's like, don't involve me too much into it if you don't want me to be just as mad as you are in a sense in the moment, because I'll keep that shit.
So how do you feel about, okay, and I hate to give this advice, but you watch baddies, right? They say Lex don't be calling Summer on her bullshit. How do you feel about like situations like that where your friend is clearly acting the fuck up, and it's like there clearly hasn't been any conversation in the public or like behind closed doors? Like, how do you feel?
I feel like, again, with those situations, and it's depending how big the situation is too. If it's like big, it's crap and I might not involve myself in that shit, because again, if you going through your shit, you going through your shit. If we got to talk about it later, we will, because then that's taking away my energy in a sense. If I got to take her behind doors though, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's only so much you can say to a person. Yeah. Because if they don't want help, you can't help them. I was about
to say, like, what if this person clearly needs help, but they like,
they don't want it. Yeah. And that's draining as fuck when you're trying to heal somebody that don't want to be healed, child.
And with that being said, on the flip side, you support your friend constantly through bullshit. You don't give a fuck, my friend, right? When does support turn into enabling to you?
I feel like, and again, I feel like it's a fine line between it, but with supporting, I feel like with supporting, there still is a factor of accountability within that. And I feel like if I'm supporting you, I'm still holding you accountable, because whatever you're doing, I support. Yeah. Once you start doing shit I don't support, then that's when I'm like, But if there's a factor of accountability within that and they're able to take accountability, then I can always support you through whatever. Yeah. Okay. That's with relationships, friendships, or even celebrities. Fuck.
So what's the best advice someone's ever given to you?
My mom, I remember I was like 7th grade and I was going to some shit and she was like, hey, it's happening for you and not to you. And ever since then, I was like, that's a bar. Heard that?
Run that shit back.
Run that shit back, turbo. Ever since she said that, every time I'm going through some shit, I'm like, it's happening for me. It's always happening for me.
Yeah.
So, For sure.
You're right. So I feel like a lot of people support their friends who they bullshit and the enabling because, them and friend are delusional. So I wanted to talk about being delusional. And I know, not just like in relationships, but in general, because I know a lot of people is like, you got to be a little delusional.
Yeah.
So what does being delusional mean to you? And is it always a bad thing?
I feel like delusion is like the word manipulation.
I feel like it's implied that it's negative. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like when you abuse the power of delusion, that's when it starts to become, okay, bitch, lock in. The original definition of delusion, yes, they put false belief in it. I don't feel like it's a false belief. I feel like delusion is just a belief that's external of the reality that we're living in. As in, you have a thought that hasn't happened yet in this reality, but you believe that this will happen. Mm-hmm. Delusion can damn near be manifestation in a sense. If you think the fuck you gonna marry your fucking celebrity crush, if that's gonna happen, that's gonna happen. I mean, look at Hailey Bieber. Let me stop playing. Anyways, if you put your mind to it,
I just thought, I was like, wait a minute, she's a little. Never mind.
If you put your mind to it, you can get it. Okay,
Man,
she got it.
What she was doing?
I don't know, but I feel like with delusion, I would say personally, it does become bad when you abuse it. Mm-hmm. It does. But I feel like if you delusion, like, oh, I'm gonna get all the money in the world. Hell yeah. Fuck, me too. That's how I feel. So I feel like it's depending how you're using the delusion.
What does abusing it look like?
That's my man, and it's like, girl.
Oh.
No, or like, Burger King is good. It's like that stuff like that. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind right.
That's crazy.
Little things like that. That's delusion.
So, do you think there's a fine line between being delusional or just being confident?
Yes, and I feel like the most delusional, like in a bad way, people are confident. As in, like, look at fucking. What's that damn nigga name? Andrew Tate. Look at them niggas, delusional and confident at the same time. And I, it's a lot of people delusional and confident, but you can be confident and delusional in a good way. Mm-hmm. As in, I'm gonna get all the money in the world, and I'm confident about that. Okay, cool. Period. I like that.
So, have you ever manifested something just by believing in it, like way more than you should have?
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, and I feel like it was with my following count, like
period,
with Instagram, and I was just like focusing on that shit. But I'm not gonna manifest in front if you actually focus on it and put action behind it.
Yeah, action
is important. Focus on the manifestation. So I feel like a lot of people put shit in the air and be like, la di da di da. The fuck, man? The universe ain't finna do all of it. Fuck, you gotta meet them halfway.
True.
Yeah. So
we're wrapping up, and I just wanted to know, what are 3 rules that you live by in life?
Breathe deep. Always. Don't stress. Always. And fuck these niggas.
Period.
Always. Those are my 3 main rules to keep me like calm, sane, and get me through the day type shit,
Woosah.
Hello. So that's how I feel, yep.
The last thing, things. What is something that you're grateful for?
This lifetime that I'm living in. This is a beautiful life that I'm living. I'm always grateful every day, even on my bad days. I'm thanking God every day.
I know that's right. Mm-hmm. And do you have anything that you want to get off your chest?
Fuck these niggas. No, for real though. Please be great, everybody out there, especially the women. Please be great out there. It's Women's History Month almost over. We still got a couple of days left. Thank God. Get it together. Be strong always, and be a woman. Be hella womany. You okay? That's all I gotta say.
Well, that's it for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. I forgot to say it earlier, but like, comment, subscribe.
Hell yeah. Subscribe to that shit.
Bye.